Okay, how do I? Because we're not trying to bash or disrespect anybody. Because I know when it comes to religion, a lot of people take it very near and dear to their hearts, which is
Mhm.
near and dear to my heart as well.
Yes.
Again, like I said, I'm not where I'm at right now. All these blessings that I've been catching throughout these 41 years, and listen, I tested it now.
Yam namita. All right. Action. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Roots to Realities. It is your girl Shu, the vibe enhancer, alongside.
It's
No,
your boy Kevin B. the Brand.
dress for church, turtleneck and
What?
everything. I said you dressed for church. You took today's episode to heart. Talk about getting into character. I'm very proud of you. Thank you. Although you have me looking like a hooligan. You got the glasses and
God,
everything.
you're giving me way too much credit right now.
Did
Let me
you go
tell you
to
what happened.
wait a minute, wait.
I had to go to
Please
City
tell me you
Hall.
went to work like this. You did not go to work like this?
No, absolutely not.
Oh my Lord Jesus.
I did pop into the job and everybody was like, oh my God, you look so amazing. I was like, chill out. This is how I look when I'm not here.
This is my real
No,
life
my
look.
cousin was being honored. Yeah, this is real life. You guys get to fake me. They was honoring my cousin as one of the black businesses, and
Hey.
part of Black History Month by the city council. So went down there. And then I'm not gonna hold you. Yes, yes. Shout out to all the business owners that was honored today. Each councilman had a honoree that they represented up there. It was cool. But I was up till 4 a.m. answering your question earlier. I was up late last night, had to do back-to-back recordings for Dear Legacy, and then did another recording for Please Excuse My Balls. And then I actually read over this because I was like, yo, I want to see what she was trying to throw at me today. But then after like before I got to the second segment, I was like, oh, okay, it ain't going to be too bad, hopefully.
Yeah,
Because,
well,
like I told you, this is one of the topics that I tend to not
you
touch
stay yeah.
publicly. Like we have these are the type of conversations you have behind closed doors,
Yeah.
sex, religion, and all that stuff. Some people
Politics.
tend to, we shy away from it, right? So yeah,
Well,
I was up till 4 a.m. recording and then getting some real estate stuff done. And then woke up, took a quick nap, went to City Hall, came back. I ain't gonna hold you. I fell asleep on the couch. That's why I'm
like
still dressed like
wow,
this.
wow, wow, wow,
Like I
wow,
sat
wow.
down and I passed the fuck out. So
Kudos to
I was
people
like, you
that
know
can
what?
do
I don't feel
that.
like going upstairs to change. So they get in my church attire. God damn it.
Well, you know what? You could have skipped
I
all
don't
of
care.
that and say, yes, Shu, I dressed for the part. Although you look like you're going to a funeral.
Nah, keep it real. Keep it a buck. You're giving me too much credit. That means I thought about this. I sat down. It wasn't until I logged back in, I remembered we was talking about
Right.
religion.
Well, speaking of that, since we are in the season of Lent, it's so funny because my aunt this morning goes, do you know what?
Shoot, today is Ash Wednesday.
Yes. So this is what she said. She goes, do you know what today is? And so I'm not going to be, I know where this is going. She does it every year. I just want to be a dickhead. So I was like, it's Wednesday. She's like, yes. What Wednesday? I said, the 18th. She's, and what's special about today? I said, it's the only 18th of February. She was like, and I
Yo,
said,
you're annoying.
and it's the day after Tuesday and the day before Thursday. I was not feeding it to her because she loves to still hold on and say, it's Ash Wednesday. You're not supposed to eat meat today and all this other stuff. And I was like, this is just, lady, you don't
Yo,
understand
you
the
still do
level.
that? You
No,
still don't eat meat?
no, no, no.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, lady,
Those used
do
to
you
be some
understand the
torturous days.
material that you
I ain't
give
gonna
me
lie
for
to you.
my podcast? Like, you have no idea what
Yo,
you're doing. Like,
we gotta
nothing.
cut her a check at some point.
Listen,
Yo,
but
we gotta get her on an NIL deal.
But since we are talking about church, did you love church as a kid, or do you feel like you just survived it?
Did I what as a kid?
Did you love church as a kid, or do you feel like you were just surviving it?
I don't think any kid loves church as a kid. You want to be outside playing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
unless now, granted, there's some people that are probably born and designed and made for church
Yeah,
that like thrive in it, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and try to say, yeah, I was no, absolutely not. I wanted to be outside. And then I started playing sports early. So like those were football days. Like what do we I like watching the pregame shows and all that stuff. So no,
At a young
I
age?
didn't like it. And then you're being forced to get dressed up and all this other stuff, then sit there. And we was raised Catholic. So it's like the most boring shit in my life. And it's 3 hours of my life just gone
Mm.
and wasted. And then they had us going to charismatic on Friday nights, Saturday group sessions for church, and then Sunday I'm right back here. Like my whole weekend is revolved around a church. No, no, no,
But
I will not.
before we jump in, I do wanna make a disclaimer and to clarify. This is not an attack on religion. We are not attacking faith. We are just examining our inheritance. We are talking about our experiences and how we are growing from that and how we are determining we're gonna pass that along. So, let's take it back for a second.
I second that emotion.
You said what?
Um, especially the faith part. We're definitely not bashing the faith part. Now, religion, we all have our different opinions about
Mhm.
religion, but faith,
Yeah.
you ain't getting me to change that part. I don't get to where I'm at right now without faith in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and God, my grandmother, and everybody. Like, I believe that there's divine intervention because I put myself in situations now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to see where I'm at right now,
Yeah.
there ain't nothing but Lord and Savior. Like,
Listen.
I sound like I'm making a fun of it, but it's not. I'm being dead ass serious. Like, I'm not where I'm at without faith.
Yeah.
So the religion part, discussion for a different day.
But in all actuality, if you think back to our childhood, like the experience, and we are both Catholic, so we don't necessarily have the experience from other
No,
religions. So
we was
maybe,
raised Catholic. We was raised Catholic.
you know what? Thank you. We were raised Catholic. For our memories, what we remember is the 2 to 3 hour services going, like you said, we're going to charismatic on Friday night, youth group on Saturday, an actual
What
service
does
on Sunday.
charismatic mean? What does charismatic mean? You got to tell the
It's
people.
So I think the English word is literally still charismatic. But it's honestly my description of charismatic is like the Baptist church because it's happy, it's soulful. They're singing, they're clapping, they're dancing. Like it's the alive part of church. That's how I viewed it as a child because from my entire life, I can remember service on Sundays. There was no clapping. There was singing, but it was hymns, so everything was, like, monotone, solemn, so put you to sleep. So I feel like charismatic allowed the church group to kinda have fun with it. Like, this was the fun part. This is the praise. It's like praise and worship. Boom, there it is. Charismatic to me was praise and worship. What's your definition, if I'm or correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It took you 7 years to get to that point. It's pretty much the Catholic version of praise and worship.
Yeah, yeah, for 5 hours. It's a 5-hour praise and worship, and
Yeah, because then we would get there around like 6 p.m. and we're leaving at like 10 at night.
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, yo, my whole Friday night is gone.
it's
And
done.
then Saturday morning, I got to be right back here
On
in
Les
group
Étoiles de
church
Marie.
settings and youth groups and all that. I'm like, bro,
Yo,
Jesus didn't save me already?
nope,
Like,
nope,
y'all told me
nope.
when he died on the cross, he saved me. So why I got to keep showing up? My whole weekend is gone?
The whole entire weekend, and let's not even take so I with me, my aunt was the coordinator of a church, St. Leo's, back in the day. This was before they merged to St. Matthew's.
And we're going back to St. Leo's.
We
Oh
are
my
going
God.
back to St. Leo's. So, can you imagine? I had 2 first communions. So technically I had a first communion and a second communion because going to
Wait,
St.
what?
Yeah, I had my first communion twice. Let me explain. So I went to St. Matthew's, which is a Catholic school. Now, with the Catholic school, they prepare you for the sacraments as a part of their curriculum. Because my aunt
Yeah.
was a coordinator at St. Leo's, who also did CCD, she was like, no, pas faire communion dans l'église, moi tout. So I literally did my first communion with my school as it was planned. And then I think the following Sunday, she did communion at St. Leo's, and I had a whole new dress
A
and
whole new dress
everything.
and
Did another
everything.
first
Is that
communion.
even legal?
It is if she the coordinator of the church. It
I don't
is
even
if
think
she
that's legal.
I I told
I
you I
think
had
you're
a
supposed to. It's baptism, it's first communion, it's confirmation, and then what's the next one? Is it holy matrimony?
hold on, because I had to remember. Listen, this might be the one episode I let her
Come on
listen
now,
to
you better
because it
get it
make her
right. I didn't have an
listen.
auntie that was the
When
coordinator.
I tell you there was CCD every day in my house, so it's baptism, reconciliation, communion, formation. You can either do matrimony or that's when you decide to go become a priest. I'm forgetting one because then
You definitely forget one because this is
there's
like
the
seven.
anointing of the sick is the last one because you get that before you die. Or maybe the one
Okay.
maybe the seventh one is when you become a priest. So, oh my God, penance. Yeah. Reconciliation. Shit, you pas faire Google because no, Papa, you can't make me. You're not gonna do this.
Yeah,
I'm not.
you better Google it. You putting out information out here like it's fact. You better Google it.
No, and I'm be very proud if I am correct. But I think I know there's seven sacraments.
I know the number was seven. That's for sure. I
All
knew
right, seven
four, and I
sacraments
missed the
Catholic.
reconciliation one. I don't even know.
No, I was right.
Yeah,
It's
what is it?
baptism, penance, which is
Yeah,
reconciliation, communion, confirmation, anointing of the sick, holy orders, and matrimony. So technically, if you do holy orders, you're not going to get matrimony because holy orders is when you choose the vocation of being a priest. See, so I was right.
gotcha.
It paid off to have an aunt that was a
Not
coordinator.
bad. Your auntie would be proud.
But even with that too,
There you go. Congratulations.
if we're naming like the specifics of the Catholic Church, like we said, Charismatic Friday, Saturday youth group, Sunday church, you forgot one thing. After church, you had what?
I don't know. I was in the parking lot acting a fool.
CCD.
I know there was probably something else going on.
It was CCD.
Oh yeah.
No.
By the time we left St. Leo, I think so we started at St. Leo also,
Mhm.
that small little white church on the corner.
Yes.
And then from there, the priest moved over to St. Matthew's. And then the whole congregation went damn near to St. Matthew's also. So that's
Yep.
how we all ended up at St. Matthew's.
Yep.
And then with St. Matthew's being there right off of Norfolk Street, yeah, we were in the middle of the hood, man. Like
Yeah.
I was out here, I was like, you know what? I don't, and we would be sneaking out because the kids had that one little section in the back left.
You going
The
out to the
days that they
basement?
would allow you to go sit over there, and then you'd be in the basement doing things that you're not supposed to be doing in basements of churches.
Not I.
God, we were some badass kids.
Not I.
You a lie.
I heard about what happened down
You a
there, but
lie.
I was nope.
You a
Nope.
lie.
Nope. Because you
You a
know what too?
lie.
Outside of
Everybody
my
went in that basement.
outside of my aunt being so involved in the church, my father was
Don't try to clean it up now because we're talking about religion and you just got out the doghouse. Okay? Don't. Do not try to make me sit here on an island by myself. I've been good and wholesome all these episodes, and now I'm actually being vulnerable. You're like, oh, I never did that.
You're
I
like, you
never did
understand
that.
me? I'm by myself.
Nailed.
But also, you gotta think about it too. My father was also in the choir. So I couldn't get yo, it was people in every corner, every freaking corner. But if you think about it, and I mean, I know the answer, but this is the topic of conversation. Do you feel like we actually even knew what was happening? Or you think we were just trying not to get in trouble?
I think we were just trying not to get in trouble. I don't think even when you think about it now, do you take the boys to church now? Do you go to church though?
So I did before Roman started walking because now they won't sit still. And when I started taking them, my aunt was like, "Oh my God, you're taking them to church! I'm so happy!" And I'm like, "This is work. Like, I don't think you understand how hard it is to have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old at church. And I'm explaining this to her, and Jesus says, let the children come and just let them be kids. I said, oh, okay, cool. Because there was one, not this New Year's Eve, the other New Year's Eve. And of course, this just, at this point, I feel like me talking about whooping Ramses is on brand. But this was like 2 New Year's Eve
Jesus
ago.
Christ.
He was just acting a fool no, it wasn't New Year's Eve, but it was the last Sunday of the year. He was just acting a fool, and I just didn't know what it was. I'll tell you, I didn't whoop him because we were in church, but I had to carry him out of church. Like,
You pinched him though. I know you pinched him. You're that parent. You
I didn't
pinch him
even get to
like
do
the
that.
aunties
Yo,
and them used to do.
we I might have. We got to church. I really, honest to God, don't know what his issue is because I know I fed him. We got to church. I let him pick out the pew that we were sitting in. All right, cool. For some strange reason, my child just decided this day was the day to show his ass. He went and like moved all the way to the other side of the pew, and I'm like, during church, during service, I'm like, get back here, and he's like, no, and I was like, get back here now, and he was like, stuck his tongue out at me. I said, Ramses, I'm gonna count down. So I started to count down, and then he got closer to me. Then he like moved away. It was just a back and forth. And then finally I was like, we're going home. And he was like, no, no. And then he just started screaming. And mind you, I think the gospel at this point is going on. You know, it's dumb quiet in a Catholic church. So I'm like, people can hear what's happening. I'm like, there's one lady that like turned around and smiled. And I'm like, mind your business, bitch. Like, don't worry about what's going on back here. Don't turn around. I'm dealing with my
Whoa,
child.
not to mind your business be.
Listen, and there ain't
Old
that
lady
many of
just
us.
trying to get her word for the week.
She'll turn around and
And
smile.
here you go,
No,
calling her a B.
don't normalize this behavior. My child's acting up. I ended up picking him up. He was kicking and screaming, and I carried him out. I kid you not, kicking and screaming. We got outside. They had like a little ledge. I didn't slam him, but I like roughly put him down. And I said, and I was like, what is the problem? I don't want to go home. You should have thought about that before you want to act a fool in these people's church. I can't go back in there now. You're just over here. You were screaming for a whole 15 minutes. You think I'm going to go back inside? No, we're going home. When I tell you he started screaming all over again, kicked his shoes off. I was so embarrassed. I mean, I came back, but that wasn't even, but that was the worst moment ever. So when I came home and I told my aunt, he's just a kid, and Jesus, we just have to let them be kids. All right, cool. The following Sunday,
Yeah, what was that energy when we were kids?
let me remember what she said. The following Sunday, she comes to church with us because I think she was going to do something later on. She's sitting in the pew with us. Ramses is playing around. He's trying to. What is she doing? Looking over at him, telling him shh, shh, play, like trying to stop him. And I said, he's just a child. Let him be a child. Remember, Jesus said to let the children be. Where was that energy? Now that you're here and you're seeing this, there's no more let it be. You telling him to be quiet. You trying to shush him. You moving away from where he is so you can concentrate. But when I tell you about how this kid is behaving, you 180. Sorry, I completely went, and I'm hot now because just the trauma. The
Yeah,
trauma.
yo, you're losing it right now. It's almost
But
as if it happened last week.
I think one of the things, um, and I spoke about this a while ago, and I think it was when I had Kenny on my podcast. At this point, like a year ago, we were talking about the power of faith, and the power of prayer. What I had to realize in my adult life was God was not introduced to me as a figure of love. I was not taught to see faith as a positive. Like it wasn't put as a negative. Like they never really in my house emphasized the unconditional love. It was always, you have to do this. You have to go to church every Sunday. If you don't go to church on every Sunday, then you're going to go to hell because you're not honoring God. You have to be as close to God or God-like and follow the Bible word for word, bar for bar, or else you're just ruining your chances. You're going to burn in hell. Not realizing you're teaching me to be afraid of this person who's supposed to be the ultimate power. And you want, like, No, I don't want to carry this forth. So I'm gonna take a beat because I really am hot. And just I gotta come down a little bit.
I agree with you. I definitely agree. I think, and that's why I had asked the question if you take the boys to church, because I think as the parents now, right? Um, and Kate has only been to church with me on special occasions, right? So that's where but he goes with his grandmother on his mother's side. She goes to church with them, like, so that's how he gets introduced to church. And they have like groups for his age where they're actually teaching the holistic view of what God is, religion and faith and all that good jazz. I'd rather that approach than how, like you said, how we was taught.
Yeah,
It was definitely fear-based. It
yeah,
was, you have to look a certain way, you have to be a certain way, you have to stand up, you have to sit down, you have to do this, you have to crunch your feet, you have to do this, communion, and the pressures of everything. And I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? So you grow up, to
yeah.
be honest, I think
Scared.
that's why a lot of us rebel against the church because of like, and then when you start to, I think for me, my faith didn't really become a actual thing, because even as you, as an adult, you still keep going to church,
Yeah,
but you're doing it because
that's what you were
it's the
told to do.
societal norm.
Yeah,
Sundays, you go to church in the morning, and you think you're making the decisions for yourself, but you're really not. It's
no,
based off of how you was brought up.
yeah,
You was told Sundays you have to go to church.
yeah, yeah.
And then even to this day, like, I don't watch church on TV. It's hard for me.
Mhm.
Like, no, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be sitting in there and
In
be
there.
miserable in the pews.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it's supposed to be. But and then my eyes really opened up when I was in the military. I think for me, that's when faith really came in, and I stepped outside of religion.
Mm.
Even when I started, for me, before even the military, I was, like I said, we was raised Catholics, but because of how boring it was and how strict it was and the fear based out of it, it was you was dragged, and not like, granted, when you're a kid, you're gonna get dragged anywhere or
Where
anywhere
go,
under the
yeah,
sun, but you don't end up you don't regret being dragged to the mall. Hell, I don't even regret being dragged to the laundromats in the morning with my mom. You know what I mean? Like, those are things that actually there was no fear behind it. It was just
yeah.
annoying. It was tedious work, or whatever the case may be. So when I was able to make decisions on my own, and then you start making friends and all that other stuff, and I went to my first Baptist church, and I was like, wait a second, this is fun. Like, they're singing music in R&B, and they put beats to it, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh my God. Like, and then you're more attentive. For me, I started listening to what the pastor was talking about, because it's relatable stuff. It's not, you're just going to read the Bible at me and tell me, like, this is what God wanted you to do, and this is what it is, and you better be afraid of this.
Yep,
And I'm like,
yep,
it's kind of weird, but
yep.
whatever. And then when you see that, and then you start thinking about non-denomination stuff, and now I get to choose where I'm going and who I'm listening to and how they're structuring it and making it more real world. And getting into the military, now you're talking about, in Afghanistan, I'm fighting a religious group. To be completely honest, it's their beliefs versus our beliefs, right? And their beliefs tell them that they believe this, that, and third. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but then out of curiosity, I read the Quran.
Yeah. Oh,
So then when you sit there, I read the Holy Bible, you read the Quran, you read the different versions of the Bibles, and you start to realize, like, all right, there's one symmetry here across all the boards. It's faith. That's
mhm,
it.
mhm.
That's all that freaking, all this other stuff that's going on, the religion part of it, especially in the Catholic Church. Again, this is not a bashing thing. This
I'm
is
better
just
than
how I
everybody
feel
else.
about it.
Yeah.
I just feel it was more of a control thing
Mm.
than actually building faith type stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel as though my faith really resonated when I was able to make decisions on my own and really look at different religions
Mhm.
and see, okay, what is the theme across all religions? It's just God.
Yeah,
God and faith. That's it.
yeah,
Whatever you want to call him, cool. That's how you feel comfortable, great. but the fear part is what always, and then, religion throughout time has been used for different tools to get what man wanted to get done. So I don't want to go down this rabbit hole with you. So go ahead, take control of your show.
Oh, I I will say that was amazing though.
'Cause I'll go
Um,
down a rabbit hole now.
I will say, growing up too, so I know, like I said, I was raised Catholic. I'm gonna get back to that because the correction you made, being raised Catholic, when I said we are Catholic, we're gonna get back to that. Um, believe it or not, my father, clearly before he left, my father is a Mason, and so he he was a Mason, but I did still see him go to church. Um, but he, as a child, was the only person that I saw go to any church. And he told me that. He said, "God is God no matter where I go. I can go to a Baptist church. I can go to a Protestant church. I can go to any type of church and worship God. Like, don't." He's like, "Do not make anybody feel like you have to only go to a Catholic church." And so, and it was just very, we already know how his life was in the house, and it didn't help that he was a Mason because they're just like, "Oh, he's doing voodoo and worshiping the devil," and he's like, "I go to church." Like, that's it's not even like,
Yeah.
let's just debunk that. He's like, "Let's debunk that right now." Like, that's I go to church. I'm part of the choir. Um, but same as you, the first time I went, so the way my timeline, I would say, clearly being forced to go to church up until you had the right to say no, which would be like what, maybe 17, 18 years old, college life. College days
Oh
is really
shit,
when.
girl, I broke away already a long time before that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
By the
couldn't do that.
time I want to say early high school, that's when I
Mm,
started saying no. But then I also had things to be doing too. Like
mm.
I had sports stuff going on. So it was easy for me, like, oh, because church would start at freaking it would start
Like at
at
8 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the middle of the afternoon. Like what are we doing right now? Then I'm there
And then
till 3.
you
Like
went there
the
till
first
3, four
game's already
o'clock.
done. And then they want to sit there and chit chat, and then you got to stand in the lines for the tablets and all this other stuff. I don't want to buy no damn tablet. I want to go home.
Uh,
Sorry.
I wanna say,
Jesus.
listen,
My
trigger points, I
trauma's
know
kicking
that
in.
you got that turtleneck on too. Um, I will
Will you let the turtleneck live, man?
God don't like ugly because I just choked on that one. I wanna say, so roughly like 17, 18, like college for me was when I was able to just stop going. I don't even know what I said, how I got out of it, because unlike you, I was not doing sports. I just stopped going. Um, and I wasn't forced to go. But I did have a friend who brought me to her church. What church was it? It was, oh my God, I can't remember that. But it was, matter of fact, which world comes full circle. It was a church that was on the corner of St. Matthew's. Do you remember that when you take that turn from Norfolk to Stanton?
On the right hand side,
That
yes,
church.
yes, yes. Because you
Yes.
could never turn out of the street because they would be double parked on the tiniest street. You're gonna double park. Why?
But I
And
went
then
to
have all these spots reserved for pastor, reserved for pastor's wife. This is a public street. I'm parking where I want to park. Sorry. Go ahead.
I went actually,
You know what I'm talking about. When you're late and you're looking for that parking spot,
I
and then you
know.
see the
You
streets wide open, reserved for first lady. Not today.
Let me put my wig
This
on.
shit belongs to the city
I'm
of
your first
Boston.
lady today.
Yep,
Um,
that here I am. This little
actually
red Honda Civic. That's what she's driving today.
Actually, you know what? I know what it was. I was working at an after school program of a church, but I got a job from a friend. I didn't go to that church, but it was a Baptist church, and the lady who was the director, I don't know how we got on the subject of faith and church and everything like that, and I told her I didn't go. Oh, she was like, "I don't think your problem is God. I don't think you were introduced properly to church." She was like, "Come with me just to praise and worship. Just come with me." And I was just like, "Oh, like, I don't know. I don't wanna go." I went and I was like, just like you said, I was like, "Oh,"
That changed your life.
I was like, "You guys are,"
It changed your life.
I was like, "Are you dancing?" I was like, "Are we," when I the first time I saw
Dancing,
someone
singing,
shout,
praising,
I was like, but also,
yelling at the pastor. Go ahead, preacher. Say it. I'm like,
Yeah,
what? Oh, lady, shut up. He's trying to talk. You can't do that.
so, like, I'm happy you said that because honestly, was my first day. Like, it's not that I had my nose turned up, but my brain immediately was like, "What are y'all doing? Like, wait a minute. Like, no, no, no. Like, you guys are way too loud." Yeah, like,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
this
yeah,
person's
yeah.
trying to talk. Like, how could you? But that was the way of it. And from that day, I just started going every Wednesday after work. I would go with her and we would go. But then my aunt found out, and my aunt was like, "Oh, ou converti. Oh, Rachel going to Baptist church. She's not Catholic anymore. Where did I lose? You were raised Catholic." And I was just like, "Bro, but y'all are boring." Like, and I literally said that. I was like, "Why can't we clap?"
I'm sorry that this is no disrespect again. Boring as fuck.
Like,
Okay.
I w
Like, you can't keep my attention for more than 3 minutes, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Your hymns, and then you're doing hymns in between things, and then you're trying to tell a story, and you want us to. It's almost as if like they want you to interact, but you're told that you can't interact. So it's like, I don't know what to do in this moment. I'm just gonna
I'm
sit over
confused.
here. I don't even know what you're talking about because you're reading it word for word, but not really breaking it down to what it truly like. That's the thing. Like with you, my eyes opened up when I went. I'm telling you, I went to Pasta Lawash in Grove Hall. Shout out to my crew, my Lawash crew, Kitya, Vasti, Sheldon, all them. They dragged me to come out there, and then it literally. You talk about somebody who was anti-church. Oh, I don't want to do it. To now being in the youth groups, you're in the boys singing choir and all that stuff, traveling and all that stuff, playing in the church basketball leagues. Like they had fun. Like, how did you not want to go to church? Like, and you don't even, it's not something where like you're going to the basement to hang out and you're there for girls. Like, you're there actually for the church part. It was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
fun. I was so mad that this was like, now I find it at 14, 15. That's when I get this.
Well, it's funny you say that because when you think about it, faith that you choose is so much different from the faith from when you're forced into faith. You know, when you like you said, you were able to come into this church and you're like, "Wait a minute, I." You feel welcome. You feel like you can be yourself as opposed to being told, "You have to do this. You have to do it that way." And I explained it to my aunt one day when I was just like and she was like, "Well, why don't you go to church anymore?" It's like, I don't have a problem with God. I just have a problem with how I can't breathe. Like I feel suffocated. Like I can't. You can't tell me if you do the. I'm gonna tell another example. Growing up, and like I said, y'all, I always give my disclaimer about I love my old lady. I do. Uh, but just to give an example of fear that was instilled in us at a young age, my aunt would tell us horror stories about. So there's one story that and I don't even know why she would tell us you know what? Whatever, that's I'll just have to talk to her and ask her why. She told us a story one day of a guy who his mother would make him pray the rosary with her every single night. Every single night, that was his routine with his mom, they pray the rosary. When he got a little older, he started hanging out with friends, they would go out drinking, all this other stuff. But he would still every night still make sure he prayed the rosary. And there was one night he was hanging out with his boy, and his boy was like, "All right, bet," super drunk. They were both super drunk. But even in his drunkenness, he right before he went to sleep, he still prayed his rosary, and his friend did not. And he fell asleep, the one that prayed the rosary, fell asleep and heard a banging on his door one night. And when he went to open the door, he saw his friend, but his friend was pretty much disfigured and covered in flames and screaming at him and saying, "Oh, because you prayed your rosary, that's why you're saved. And I got into an accident and now I'm burning in hell because I didn't pray." And like, can you imagine hearing a story like that at 8 years old? These were
First,
like
first of all, I'm sitting here listening to the story. And I'm like, where's the story going with? And this is the thing with being raised Catholic. These are the stories that they try to push to you.
yeah,
This is why you got to stay in the
yeah,
church. No, what the fuck? I gotta be clutching these little beads and then walking the stations. What were they called?
Stations of the Cross,
Where they show you, yeah, Stations of the Cross. Oh my Jesus Christ! Yeah,
right?
this conversation is
It's
very
triggering.
triggering.
It's triggering. But that's why I wanted
But
to
you
have
know,
honestly go ahead.
another thing that I want to say, the difference of when I started going to other churches as well, what I realized is perfection went out the door. Like in the Catholic Church, you had to be
Oh,
perfect in order to get to the pearly gates. But then when I get somewhere else, I'm sitting here like, oh, this is a youth group leader. Like, oh, you're normal, just like me. Oh my
jeans and
goodness. And
t-shirt.
then you're preaching the word because we had youth services also. Like that was another thing that I realized. Like the adults had services upstairs, and then
They cater to their community.
downstairs there was like youth services, and they catered to teach. It's the same segment that's being taught upstairs, downstairs, but in a different language. And then they made you understand what they was trying to get the point across. And I was like, so I don't have to be perfect in order to be saved. I could
Mhm.
literally be like what it
Who
says
you
in these
are.
books, like come as you are.
Mm,
Like I was going to church in jeans and button downs, and
mm.
nobody thought twice about it. Now, granted, at Lawash there was the Haitians, so you know the Haitians did kind of look
You
at you
still
funny. I
roll.
came in with earrings and all the jewelry and all that stuff, but they still accepted me
Yeah,
in the church.
yeah.
They might side eye me, but they still accepted me. Whereas you take that to Catholic Church, you got to be dressed up, buttoned up, suit and tie, and all this. And I'm like, what what does me wearing a suit and tie and a button down in jeans?
This
What's the
shit.
difference?
Yeah.
What happened? Why now all of a sudden I'm the second coming of Satan just because I'm not wearing a suit and tie?
I will say this, the church that and I will say I am a part of because I do like it. The only reason why I have not been going is like solely because I cannot concentrate. And that was another reason why I also did stop going to church at one point cuz I feel like all of us at one point because it was so negatively forced on us, we drifted at one point. Like we definitely all drifted. Um But I also
Absolutely.
realized, like, when I would and I kept trying to come back, like, I kept trying to come back, but what I realized was I wasn't paying attention. It's like you mentioned earlier, I was literally just coming to check off a box. I'm here, it's Sunday. I'm here because I have to be here. Ask me what the reading was, ask me what the gospel was. I can't tell you. I don't know what was being said. I would be sitting in church thinking, "Okay, when I leave here, I need to go grocery shopping. What do I need to buy? What's my" like, literally scheduling out my entire week. But that's where my brain is, but my body is physically in the church because it's like, this is where you have to be. Uh, fast forward to fast forward to now, you know, I was bringing the boys to church, and honestly, Christina Christina is who part of the reason why I started going back because after Lucas's communion, I was like, I want Ramses to have a first communion because I know this is very terrible, but I was like, I want Ramses to have a first communion because I want to be able to throw a first communion party at the house and have him in his white suit in like do you remember your first communion? Actually, I would like to know what do they tell you as the guy, the importance of your first communion? Because I know for girls, we're told that we're dressed to the T because it's like our wedding to Jesus, and I'm pretty sure that's not what they're telling the boys. So what do they tell y'all?
I don't know what the fuck they told me. I don't remember. I don't even know why we're doing first communion, to be honest. Because remember, I went to St. Angela's, so it
Yeah,
was like you
it was part
had
of the
to do
curriculum.
this.
Yeah.
Second grade is part of the freaking curriculum. It's a check the box. It's you literally taking an additional class, religion, as opposed to your counterparts that only has 7 classes. We got 8 classes, you
Mhm.
know, and religion was one of them. And then you going to mass every week, and then again, you're just going through the checks, and then there was stuff that we had to study. You had to like really pass certain things, and then you're like, okay, cool, you're good to do your first communion. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And you do it, and then they tell you now you earned the right to for the body of Jesus and the fake wine that they're giving up there. I'm like, what the
Ours
this
was
stale
real
ass little
wine. It
bread?
was
I don't know.
Manischewitz.
Don't nobody want this.
It was a
Well, they
Manischewitz.
wasn't gonna give wine to the kids. All right, they put out juice.
No, mine was wine. I know.
You're a criminal. That's why you're a wino now.
Um, but yeah, so in I will say I do also, even before I started going back to church with the boys, I still always taught Ramses to pray. We would always pray every night. And I think the generation before us, the experience I have is clearly with my aunt, but I remember the first time she heard Ramses pray, she was so shocked because she was just like, he knows how to pray. And I literally told her, just because we don't go to church doesn't mean my child doesn't have God in his life. Like, he is taught about God. He is taught, I tell him that his grandparents who have passed, that's his guardian angel dream team. He says goodnight to them every night. Ramses can recite the bedtime prayer. He can recite the guardian angel prayer. He says the prayer to Saint Michael. At 4 years old, he can do all three by himself because I've been teaching him that. I'm not going to teach you that. You have to literally be in a church, which is what we were taught. And it wasn't until my big adult age that I realized you don't have to physically be in a church to have faith. But that's what we were taught. But now that
So I'm still learning that. I'm still learning.
it's
Like I
forever.
told you, it's for me. I'm still trying to grasp the process of you could be at church, sitting at home on your couch, and watching the sermon. For me, I don't see it as the same. I'm not there. Like, I'm in my house. I could be in my drawers, and I'm going to grab some snacks and sit in there. Like, this ain't movie time for me. Like, I still feel as though like it doesn't diminish my faith.
Mhm.
But at the same time, when it's time for me to go to church, I want to go to church.
Yeah.
I want to leave my house and go to a house of worship. Even though my house is a place of worship where two or three are gathered in his name, there he shall
Amen.
be. But at the same time, come on now. I was raised in this. I was raised in it now. I do have faith. It's the religion part I got a problem with. But I still like and enjoy, especially when you find a preacher that's actually like, for me,
Yes.
I think you're the dopest preacher in the freaking world. If I go to church every Sunday, no matter what you're talking about there, I feel I'm looking around like, was this motherfucker, was he at the club? Did he know that I was doing these things? That's a relatable pastor. That's changing the word that he just read in the book and make it relatable to what's happening in the current society and world. Where did you just go?
Lord.
All right, you're having technical difficulties today. I think you're still here. Clap twice if you hear my voice. Help me.
Don't say nothing to me. I got kicked off. Don't say nothing to me. Just keep going. That's a relatable pastor who can you just keep it going.
I was like, oh, this is what you felt like when it kept turning off on me, but like you just then disappeared altogether. I lost my train
You
of
were like,
thought.
"Oh shit, maybe we shouldn't be talking about the church right now." They done
I
cut
was like, see,
they done
this
cut our
this is why
podcast.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. Jesus came down and was like, I don't like this message. Cut it off.
Well, because you were like starting to jumble up, and I was like, "Oh, I had my laptop in the house, and that's a different Wi-Fi." And I was like, it was still like trying to tether and
Yo,
pull
you're
the
clear
Wi-Fi
as day right now. Like this is a different version.
because I'm on the right Wi-Fi now. I'm on my office.
And I kept telling you, I'm like,
Did.
yo, there's something different. You never liked it. You know what? What do I know?
Oh,
Anyways,
all right.
take control of your show back.
Oh,
I don't know where I was
you
going
know
with
what's so
this.
funny? I love that you keep calling it my show because we're talking about religion. But no, something that you said that I know I understand the difference. Oh, I hear an echo. You better not. We've been doing great with the last 2 episodes. Don't you start back, echo. Um,
I don't hear it. I hope
okay.
not.
I I heard it slightly. Okay, stop. Focus. Um,
Are you talking about
you
to you or to me?
everybody. Everybody. I
Okay.
have multiple people in my head. Um,
Oh my God, that's the episode for another day. Come on, let's stick to the religion part.
you mentioned faith versus religion. I would like for you to clarify, please. For for the people who don't think there is a difference, please tell them your viewpoint.
Okay.
Elevator pitch, please, because I know.
Okay, how do I? Because we're not trying to bash or disrespect anybody. Because I know when it comes to religion, a lot of people take it very near and dear to their hearts, which is
Mhm.
near and dear to my heart as well.
Yes.
Again, like I said, I'm not where I'm at right now. All these blessings that I've been catching throughout these 41 years, and listen, I tested it now. I put myself in situations that I had no business being in, but for
Mhm.
some way, somehow, in the right time, I always knew when to pivot. I always followed my gut. And for me, it's not following my gut. It's like, all right, I let you dabble in this. This is your opportunity to get out now. You don't get out. This is the pathway that you're going. You know what I mean? So like, and for me, what's the difference between religion and faith? The most PC answer I could give you without us getting canceled, only 8 episodes in, it's religion was created by man.
Mm.
Faith is what we believe in. Like
Mm.
faith is walking blindly and knowing that all the bills are piling up. There's no money and you're broke as hell. You see only darkness, and out of nowhere you get like a check for $6,000 that covers all your bills and gives you a little nice buffer room. So now you could keep grinding and going. And like for me, that's believing that nah, it's gonna work out. I didn't go this far to be this far. Now, don't get what I'm saying twisted.
Mhm.
You will fall flat on your face sometimes.
Yeah.
That does not mean that you lose faith.
Yeah.
It's just that's the way he's showing you, like, or like people like to say, they're testing you. He gives his hardest work to. I get it because there's times I be saying it. I was like, you know what, Jesus, I'm tired of being tested.
Let's have a conversation.
Can we have? Can I get the answers already? You see what I'm saying? So
I
it's like,
told you, I tell everybody, I'm like, I called on New Year's Eve. I said, Lord, can you sign me up for the rest and relaxation package in
yeah,
2026? Because
yeah.
trials and
These
tribulations is not
stimulus
for me.
packages that I've been getting have been ghetto. But
That-
at the same time, you look at like certain to go back to answer your question. I don't want to go on too far off tangent. Religion for me is created by man. Um, I feel as though when you could utilize something to control different sets of people to fit narratives that you want to fit. And then when I had my aha moment, I always used to ask the question, even when I was in St. Angela, why is Jesus just a baby,
Mm,
a teenager, and then he's dying at 33?
mm.
Like, where is and for me, I like movies, I like TV shows. So I'm like, where's the
Where's the
story arc?
storyline?
Like
Yeah.
we went from baby he was
He
born,
was born,
then
now
at
he's in the
13 he's
temple.
in church preaching to grown men, and then he's dying on the cross at 33. Like where is the rest? And I always used to ask that, and it was like you just have to. This is what and then when you start to think about it, you look at history, you look at science, you look at religion, and then you start reading and you start learning, and it's like, and we grew up in an era where now there's Google, motherfucker, so I can ask Google these questions, and they're gonna tell me, oh, the reason why this has happened because books were removed. There was books that was in there that was written by women, but they didn't want women to be free thinking, so they removed those books, and they don't like the Roman, I don't want to be saying the wrong shit, but like the Roman Catholic Church didn't like certain things happening, and so they removed those books. So like that's why we don't see Jesus from baby to 13. We don't see Jesus from 13 to 33. We don't see or hear about like, was Jesus ever in relationships? Y'all telling us we're supposed to get to marriage, we're supposed to procreate, but how come this didn't happen? So you mean to tell me he never liked no girls? Yeah, like what was happening? Like I know how little boys work. You know what I mean? We end up liking girls. I don't care if they're robes and sandals back then. He still likes somebody. His mama likes his daddy, didn't he? Joseph had to go Baghdad. You see what I'm saying? So like for me, when you start looking at that stuff and you're like, wait, why is things being removed? Oh, it's part of the control stuff. It's part of fitting the narrative that you want to. And if you want to take another step further, slavery,
Mm,
religion was used to keep people in chains and
mm.
fear of each other. And
Come on
the
now.
good book said this. You could, and going back to the military, when you read the Quran, I read it, I looked at it, and I'm like, I could see how they twisted that.
Mm.
I could see how this could be twisted in this person's viewpoint, and this person's viewpoint sees it a totally different way. okay, aha, that's religion.
Mm.
All of us are moving off of faith, but the way we was exposed to religion dictates how that faith is going to go.
Mm.
And I think that's a difference for me, religion versus faith. I am a faith-based person. I believe in God. I believe in a higher calling, a divine Buddha, whatever it is that you want to call them. I know that exists because of things that I've gone through in my life and how I'm sitting here blessed. This single parent immigrant boy from the inner city, never been in jail, didn't have no early baby mamas. I didn't do none of the statistical stuff. Now, don't get me twisted. Like I said, I tested my faith now, put myself in situations that I should not have been in, but some way, somehow I got out of it. Not because I just was so much smarter. No, that little thing in the back of your neck tell you, nah, this shit ain't right.
You got somebody looking over
That
you.
that keeps generating the faith. You go to Afghanistan and you almost die multiple times, and for some reason, that's why I tell people right now, I ain't dying to nobody out here. Mm-mm. You think I survived Afghanistan multiple times?
To
They
come
couldn't
here?
kill me, and here, this what it's got? No, 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 no. I'm not playing with my faith no more. I'm a big ass age of 41. The shit gonna hit different. I'm not as nimble to get away anymore.
But let's break it down, into parts because I do we know about where we came from. We do, our brand is pretty much to talk about what we came from and how we're carrying it forward. So, in the sense of faith, we'll call it the legacy pivot. Um, what do you feel becomes generational when it comes to faith? I know one of the biggest reasons that I did want to take the boys back to church was because of that sense of community. I felt like I want the boys to know what faith is. I want them to know that I'm saying it. I sound like what I'm trying to run away from. You know, Especially after that lovely description of religion you gave. But I do want them to have some type of sense of God. However God appears to them in their mind, clearly, Ramses is 4, Roman is 1. I still want them to have that sense of someone's looking out for me. Some for so I'm here because I'm supposed to be. Um, and so that's why I wanna hold on to prayer. I think I started praying with Ramses from the minute he could talk. So I think I started saying those prayers, and it would just be me saying it, and then I would say it and then leave out the last word, and then he would complete the last word. And then randomly, I wanna say a couple months later, he just started saying the whole thing with me. And it was one of those moments where I'm like, as I'm saying it and I notice he's saying it with me, I'm like, "Oh shit, he's paying attention. Don't lose focus. Keep going, keep going." Like I was so proud because I was like, my baby's praying. Like, look at him. Like, look at him pray. Although, if you ask him different things, he can kind of answer. Like he'll tell you Jesus, uh, but he asks questions and I have no problem answering it. What are your I guess how are you guiding Caden if, to think.
So full transparency. When Caden was born, we was going to church, and I don't know what happened. It just kind of like stopped. Probably life and all that stuff. I travel a lot also hosting and all that stuff. So it's hard to stay in with that. And then he started going to church with his grandmother, and it was like that's when he really starts like because when you're a baby, like you don't know what the heck's going on, but like now you understand certain things and all that stuff. And I looked at it as it's not something that I'm actively teaching,
Yeah.
but you want him to have it. So it was good that his grandmother was taking him until I find a church home,
Yeah.
then that's something totally different. And for me, I don't feel I guess I don't feel the Russian need to run out and go find a church home. I
Mm.
want to. I want to, but at the same time, I don't make it a priority neither.
But
Because
why
by
do
the
you
time
want to?
because sometimes it's good to hear the word from a different perspective, right? And then have it relate, because sometimes you just need that little spark too, right?
Mhm.
Like the faith is cool, you know what you believe in, but sometimes life be life in now. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a whole ass father. I'm doing a whole bunch of different shit, and then sometimes you get beat the fuck down, and it's like, ooh, you testing this faith of mine now, and and maybe I need a reboot situation. Maybe I do need to turn on that TV and watch an episode or two. And thank God for my bonus mama. I'm not gonna put her name out there onto public, but
You
thank God for
almost
my
did.
mama, because she sends me links,
Yeah,
she sends us prayer cards, and I love and appreciate the heck out of her
yeah,
because she keeps us grounded.
yeah,
So like for me, that's the little spark that I need,
yeah,
because I do read them.
yeah.
She probably thinks we don't read them, but I read them. I do. Now listen, mama be sending me some links that's like a full service, and I'm like, mama, it's the middle of the day. I'm not gonna be able to, but I will turn it on, and I'll get to the point where the pastor, like, to see what the message was. And
Mhm.
one, because I don't want her to ask me, and then I don't know what the link was about. So I'm gonna tap on that link,
Yeah.
bare minimum, because she took her time out of her day. She didn't have to, and sending us a word that was said to her. And she's essentially going to church for all of us, because she know life is out here lifing. So sometimes that little spark keeps the faith going, because boy, faith is blind, faith is going without knowing. And as an entrepreneur, and as a father, as a husband, and all this other stuff, it's like, ooh wee. Uh, you- so for me, it would be good to know, not for no sense of, I hear you with the community part and all that, but I go to church. I'm not hanging out with none of those people. Like the moment the service is over, I'm out of here. Maybe I'll say hi to the pastor because it was a good sermon. That's the beauty of some of these mega churches too. Now that's
Yes.
popping up, because like they're doing multiple services in a day, so they're sticking to the schedule, because
They
they
got
need the 15-20 minutes to hit that reset button and go. So I don't got to worry about it going over time. None of that stuff. Now, if you go to the last service where they got time afterwards,
you
that's
go to
on
that
you. You chose
5 o'clock,
that.
you're
You
done.
you chose you chose that situation for yourself. And that was one of the problems that I had with the one church that I was at. I loved it. I'm not gonna say the name. It's in no. If I give the area, people will figure it out. But the pastor, boy, you talking about like a cool brother, and the man dressed fly. The man knew how to translate and talk to the people. But the problem was, like you, I didn't see people in our age group. And then it was like the whole it- church for me. I don't like clicky situations
Yeah.
and gatekeepers and all this. And people feel like they're first pew people, they're second pew people. Like, what are we talking about? I want to sit right the fuck here. There's spots open. I'm sitting the hell right here. I don't care what's the first pew people. I guess I'm first pew today. I don't know. I don't. Oh, this is reserved for I don't care.
They should have been here.
You
They
know,
should have been here.
because when that basket come around, you want me to be putting these dollars in or not?
I will tell you this though, when I first started going with the boys, I was sitting in that first pew. I was first row. And I think so many people were shocked, like people I knew. And my cousin went to the church too. So she'd be like, girl, you sitting in the front row with them kids. Or when I would tell people I'm sitting in the front row with them kids, they'd be like, girl, you brave. I got to sit in the back of the church with my kids. No, I'm putting them front. And like, we went so much, and Ramses, the priests they know Ramses' name. And one would be like, are you listening to mom? Ramses, your ears are on. There was one time though at the end of service when, kids, the Lord be with you. And then you say, and with you, it got real quiet. And then Ramses goes, and you, Father. When I tell you, he actually, like, the priest literally broke out laughing when that happened. And I was just like, oh, Lord Jesus is my child, but I'll take it. At least he's saying this and not something else not something else. Um, let's get some rapid fire in. So I like how we did it last time. So I'm gonna keep it similar. So with this list of questions, I want you to tell me if you feel like it is fear based or faith based. And yes. And I will follow your rules because apparently your rules are how rapid fire is supposed to be, where I don't ask questions until the the end.
Rapid fire. It's in the title of the segment. Rapid meaning fast.
All right, my cup is to the side.
Fire, hot. Go. Is that another glass of wine?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yo, because I remember you filled that to the brim at the top of the show, and now it's filled up again. What is happening? Okay, go ahead.
It's apple juice.
You a lie.
I am
We're talking
drinking,
about Jesus right now.
I am drinking Mott's apple juice. All right. So rapid fire. All right. Offer it up.
What does that mean?
Okay, so let me take that back. I am going to say
What?
I am going to say a line.
Uh-huh.
I want you to tell me if this line, phrase, metaphor, whatever it is, if you feel like this is fear-based or faith-based.
Okay,
All right.
go.
Offer it up.
Both. Go.
God knows your heart.
Faith.
Everything happens for a reason.
Fear. Faith. Fear. Both. Both. Give me both. Both. I feel like I'm on a game show. Come on.
Obedience brings blessings.
Fear.
Don't bring that energy into church.
Fear.
Suffering makes you stronger.
Faith. No. Both.
Guard your testimony.
Say what?
Guard your testimony.
So like move in secrecy?
Or I guess live by what you're saying.
Next question.
Pass. God won't give you more than you can handle.
Ooh. It falls in
Fear
both.
or
Both.
faith? Fear or faith?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Respect the house of God.
Fear.
Check your spirit.
Faith.
Fast and pray about it.
I don't even know what that means. Next question.
Fast, like when you fast.
Oh, fast like not eating?
Yeah.
That's faith. Fear. Faith. Give it faith. It's faith. It's faith.
He said, give me faith. Cover your body. It's a temple.
Fear.
All right. So let's talk about some of these.
Whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
You got to go through it.
I
Hold
do
on.
gotta go through
Let
it.
me find a list. Let me find a list. Hold on. 'Cause I don't look at rapid fires. I never look at the rapid fires just so I don't have like
Premeditated
predetermined
thought.
answers.
See, that's why it doesn't work when you put it back to me because I'm like, I just read all of these to you.
I know. Okay, let's just talk about it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
All right. You actually picked both for a lot of them.
Yes.
I'll tell you where I disagree. So,
did you write it down? Because I
No.
don't know which ones I said it to.
no, not at all. I'm
How do
going
we
to
track these things?
I can remember. Listen, you said, well, I know you said obedience brings blessings. You said that was fear. Suffering makes you stronger. You said that was both. I think that's fear.
No, so for me, I feel as though it falls under both because, like I said before, some things you just you might fall flat on your face about, and that's part of the faith part. Nobody's telling me to go out here and suffer. It's one of those situations like I'm just going through some shit, and I have to believe in my faith that I'm gonna get through this thing. Now, if somebody's preaching, what the hell is preaching?
Preaching? Are you? What's in your cup?
Red Bull.
Mine Red Bull too.
Yeah, sure. Now, will somebody sit here and preach something about you must suffer in order to make this because that's God's will no, God's will is not for you to suffer. But sometimes you're placed in certain situations for whatever reason it may be, whether it's you that put you there or circumstances put you there, and you're going to struggle a little bit and hopefully you get out of it. Now, that's the thing about faith-based things. You might never get out of it.
Yeah.
That's just a circumstance of life. It is what it is. But you would like to believe that as long as you're being a good human, a good person, that in the next life, it'll be worth it. And I know people don't want to hear that.
Nope,
But
never.
like sometimes the situation is the situation. You're just not going to get out of it. because when the opportunity arose for you to get out of it, remember how I said like sometimes I feel as though like I put myself in situations and in the last second I feel as though like I pivoted just in time for like before a raid happened, before this happened, before this party that I was supposed to be at get shot up and all this other stuff. When I'm sneaking out of the house and all that good jazz. Yeah, mama, I was sneaking out the house. Don't act like you didn't know it happened. Yeah, you locked me out a few times because you knew it was happening. So for me, it's like now there I was put in those situations where I knew right then and there, something moved in me, or I felt something like it was time to pivot.
Mhm.
Some people don't pivot when it's time to pivot. So now you're stuck on that way, and hopefully there's another pivot point, but the decision has just been made. Like my faith base is everything's already predetermined. The free will part of that predetermination that your faith gives you is going to dictate how the rest of this arc is going to go.
Mm.
The decisions that we're going to make, you cannot be, because faith has told us that it is free thinking. It is free will. So when you get to that free will part, the decision that you make, you cannot then be mad about it later on. You had the options.
Yeah. Well, you also said both for God won't give you more than you can handle. What's the fear in that? What do you feel about that is fear-based?
I think like if you go to the churches, a lot of pastors, they'll hear somebody going through some trauma and tribulations, and that's their first go-to. God won't give you nothing that you can't handle. Well, I can't handle it. So can you write a letter? Can you send in these little boxes in the Catholic Church saying that you're talking to Jesus himself?
Somebody
Like
send a
let
reference,
me
please.
know.
Somebody send a reference.
Like, am I sending the wrong people to talk to you? Like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, is there a CV that I'm supposed to send to get to Jesus? Like, what is a hotline? Where is customer service to Jesus, please? That's what I need. I need customer service. I'll sit on the phone and just keep yelling representative for hours. I don't care. Just give me the number.
He said, "Where is the customer service line?" I will say, so the cover your body is a temple, right? When I went to Haiti, um, I went to church in Haiti, and we were having communion, and I remember distinctively seeing people getting pulled out of the communion line. And I asked my dad, and I was like, "Why?" He said, "Because they're not dressed appropriate to receive the body of Christ." And I was like, That's a thing? You're short, like, you were not allowed to be sleeveless, and, of course, if you're showing too much cleavage, like, things like that, and I was just like, they were legit pulling people out of the li I was just like, "This is real life, like, this is what's happening." So, when I read that line, it made me think of that, because right now, like I said, the church that I go to, we're not supposed to judge people because we spoke about come as you are, but there is this
We
one
listen and we don't judge. Lies.
There
I'm
is this
judging.
one young lady. She gotta be between 18 and 22. She has to be between. This girl wears a crop top and mini skirt to church. And she's there with her family. And every time I see her, the first thing in my head goes, your mother let you come to church like this? Like, why do I see your belly button? Why do I see every inch of your thigh meat, that if you sneeze, I'm gonna see some cheeks? Like, we are in church right now. It's a Catholic church too. This is not, it's just so, I'm clearly judging her, but that when I read that line, cover your body, that's the first thing that came to
But my thing is sticking to that real quick. It's she's in church.
in a crop top and a mini skirt.
Why does it matter?
Because she's in a crop top and a mini. She's wearing like, to me, and I will hold true and say this is the old school, how we were raised, working on letting that go. That is not how you dress to go to church. Not to church.
Says who?
Not to the Lord's house. This is the
Who
Lord's
said it?
house.
Who said that though?
The Haitians that raised me.
So let me ask you another question. Do you believe in a line where two or three are gathered in his name? That's a place
Mm,
of worship?
Yes.
So if I'm in my house and I want to be in my
No
sleep
Speedies.
and my underwear and flip flops, my Crocs and
But
a
you
wife beater,
but you are in the
that
you
means
are in the
I'm.
privacy of your home.
But where two or three are gathered. So let's say I want to make this. I want a 503c, and I'm now making this a church. Everybody come over and worship. Come as you are. Because I believe that's what the even the man-made version said. Come as you are. So right now we acting like America. You know, when the Statue of Liberty say, "Give me your tired, your weak," and whatever else is listed on there, and
I didn't even know there were words on the Statue of Liberty. Move
yes,
forward.
yes, that's the whole part of it. Like it's a guiding light to for immigrants to find a way to America, but now we're kicking people out of America because they're illegals.
I'm gonna write this down because you just taught me something new. I had no idea that that's what the Statue of
It's
Liberty
just
was
a
about.
whole thing on it. It's give me your tired, your weak, and yada yada yada. Like yeah, there's a whole thing about it.
Wow. Hmm. Conversation for
So
another
like
day.
for me, when you talk about the church that preaches, come as you are. But then the moment you come as you are, all of a sudden, no, you're wrong. Get out of my line. You can't be here.
I'm telling you,
What?
I was so shocked when I saw it, and I was like, "Dad, why is that happening?" He was like, "Because she doesn't have sleeves." And I'm like, "'Cause she ain't 'cause her shoulder is exposed, she can't receive communion? Like, that's a thing?"
It's the same thing with other religions where they feel as though like I'm gonna leave that alone because it'll
Okay.
be too specific.
Alright. Do you think that something can start off as fear-based and mature into faith-based?
Absolutely. We're not here having these conversations um because as a child you don't know. You don't get an option in it. You go into wherever your parents are going. And then they're to like it's like your aunt and them saying let your child be your child, but at the same time it's like the fear kicks in. It's like no, this is not how you're supposed to be. This is not what you
Mhm.
but does it grow into maturity where you figure certain things out? Yeah, absolutely.
Where the examples
That's a faith part.
yeah.
When you remove the religion part out of it and stick with that foundation of the faith part, I think you do mature into certain things.
Do you feel like fear can create discipline?
I'm a military guy, so what you think?
Oh, yeah. Womp womp, fine. What about discipline creating wait, what? Did I write? Oh. Ooh, my apple juice is strong. Discipline creating devotion.
One more time?
Do you feel like discipline can later create devotion? Like the way you discipline yourself can eventually turn into a structure of devotion.
For some.
Give me an example of it not being for like of it not happening.
Uh, because prime example, we're in Lent. I can speak on this because I went through this. I'm not gonna speak on other things. Give up meat for 40 days and you can only eat fish. You can only break away on it on Fridays. You have to, was it Fridays you can eat meat only
No,
and the rest of the,
it's the other way around. So you can't eat meat on Ash Wednesday and then every Friday of Lent,
yes.
which is not even a thing anymore. But go ahead.
But my whole thing is why? Why? So for me, it's like, yes, I could have had the discipline to do it because you did it, right? Because growing up in our households, they would only serve seafood type dishes or whatever. But hello, good people, I have
And
an
now,
allergy.
I was
What
just
the
about
fuck
to
am I gonna
say,
do? I
you
don't get
can't
no
eat
protein. Like
crustaceans.
what the fuck? Like you see what I'm saying? So like, there's no discipline part of that that's gonna build on the faith. I'm still faithful. I'm still part of the flock.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for some, they looking at the discipline. You need that part to stay to stay rooted in your faith. I don't need that part. Give me my meat. Pause. What the fuck?
Do you feel like we're too quick to villainize structure?
Oh no. And wait, hold on. I'm thinking about general. We're talking about religion right now.
Yes, thank you,
Um.
thank you.
Uh. I'm not too quick. I think for me, you're talking about big ass age of 41. By the time I was around 13, I started experiencing different types of churches,
Yeah.
different ways of leading and being guided with through faith, right? And then I put myself in other situations where now I'm like, you know what? Let me read this. Let
Yeah.
me look deeper into this.
Yeah.
What is the historical facts behind these things, right? So that's yeah, yeah. uh, I felt myself about to go somewhere, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Damn it, I had a whole thought about villainizing structure and it went away. God doggone it. Doggone it. Anyway,
That apple juice, man.
it's real good. Nice and it's sugar free.
You're annoying.
But no, so let's in talking about Lent, I think Lent oh, you know what?
You remembered. Go ahead.
No, I didn't remember. This is a completely different thought. Uh, I went back to the conversation I had with my aunt this morning about Lent and giving something up. So then I asked her, she was like, "Well, what are you doing for Lent?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What are you giving up?" And I was like, "Are you giving up sugar? Are you giving up alcohol? Are you giving up?" And then she was like, "It's not about giving up food. It's about building a relationship closer to God. Actually, it's about giving up a vice. That's what you give up during Lent." Like,
'Cause I don't see how that brings me any closer to Christ by giving up something for 40 days.
I will tell you this one thing. I will never forget the day that my sister gave up I don't think she listens to the podcast anyway. Um, she is
This
now.
this this is gonna be the one episode she listens. Go ahead.
So one episode, she gave up chocolate one year, and at 12:01 on Easter morning, I will never forget, she had a Cadbury egg, and the joy that came to her life when she unwrapped that I don't know why, I distinctively remember that moment because she was just like, "Girl, I done waited 40 days and 40 nights to eat this piece of chocolate," and she enjoyed it. Like, I've given up alcohol, and my aunt came for me. She was like, "You? You gave up wine for Lent?" There was one year I gave up meat for the entire 40 days and 40 nights. She
You
was
gave up what?
I gave up meat. Pause. I gave up chicken. I
I
literally
thought you said weed at first. I was like, "What
No,
the
no, no,
fuck?"
no. I
I
gave
didn't know you was that heavy into weed.
You're like, "Good Lord." I mean, and
That's a
every
E.
day,
That's a E.
every episode I'm
Sign me
learning
up.
something
Sign me up.
new.
I'm giving up weed for Lent. The fuck? I win.
No, no, no. I gave up meat one year. And she was like, "That's how I know." I heard an echo. You see, I don't know, whatever you're
Girl,
touching.
that's your apple juice. Ain't no echoes happening. Go ahead.
Not where when I go to edit, I'm gonna send you. I'm go But what I remember, and I think that's the thing with the generation before. They really do, and, it's to go back to the struggle, the suffering makes you stronger. I think the reason why for me, I saw that more as fear than faith is because of my aunt. Like, to her, I feel like she forces herself to be unhappy because, and I call it the martyr syndrome. I don't know if it really exists. I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like in her mind, she has to be a martyr so that she looks like to her like she could be closer to God. And I'm like, I don't think that our faith wants us to suffer. I don't think God was like, "I want y'all to go through hell to prove to me that you believe that I'm gonna save you." So that's why that specific, suffering makes you stronger. I don't necessarily see that as faith. I see that as fear. I see that as people validating their lack of even trying to better themselves because they're like, "Well, I'm supposed to go through this because, God is trying to teach me something." No, 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 no. God's not putting you on here to drag you through the mud just for you to say, "Oh, there's dirt here that I can grow a tree." No, no, no. That's not the point. Like, it's just let's not do that. And I completely detoured. But bringing it back to Lent, you know, growing up, Lent for us wasn't optional. Like it was assigned. Like I don't my and she did like clearly she's still doing it now. Today she waited for day of, but she would beforehand say, "What are we giving up for Lent? Start thinking about it now. Lent is coming up. What are you gonna give up?" So I think for me, we were told to you have to do all of this. If you don't, like, I'm bringing it all the way back to the beginning of what we spoke about. If you don't do A, B, C, D, you're going to hell. Like I was literally told, I kid you not. I was literally told that if I do not go to church every Sunday, it's a mortal sin. And a mortal sin is literally your fast pass to hell.
Yo, I remember they used to growing up in the Catholic Church and that fear based stuff. It comes to a point where it was like, fuck it, I'm going to hell. I don't care. Now what? Now what? Okay, I might as well have fun now because I know where I'm going. Like it's one of those things where you keep hearing something like people say something. Okay, then what?
Yeah.
Now what?
Now what's the
Okay,
next part? What's
uh,
happening?
what's gonna change right now? Because I'm gonna live my life.
Yeah. But remind me, so with Caden now, where do you stand on faith with Caden?
And so we talk. He's because he's gone to church with his grandma. We've had conversations about God, Jesus, and all that stuff. And like he goes to the little youth. They put little stuff together for youth stuff where they're teaching him certain things. So like we have conversations about it. But for me, it's not gonna be something that is gonna be forced upon him. I think it goes back to all our other episodes we're talking. Like we're trying to change different ways. I think we
Narrative.
give these kids a little bit too much freedom, to be honest. But
That part.
now, if we're going to church, we're going to church. Right now he has the options, right? Because on Sundays he's usually back with his mom by then. So like, if the grandma's going to church, or like, there's those points where it's like, I don't want to go, and then there's other times where he'd be like, I want to go. So like, you kind of play that, you know. Where's grandmother? You're going to church, and I'm like, all right, well, listen, you heard what she said. Because that trauma is not mine. I'm not bestowing that trauma on you. That somebody else is doing that. Like,
Well, you're more so in the background. Welcome to the club.
listen, I've been there, brother. By 13, you can figure it out. That's where I started being able to do what I wanted to do. So, um, yeah, I think with Caden, it's one of those things. He is introduced to it. I don't question anything that he's been introduced to yet. I don't I don't feel as though it's like the fear-based stuff being drilled into him. I think the churches have changed also.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
churches are trying to make sure that they're
They're open.
bringing the youth into the flock of the kingdom,
Yeah.
however you want to look at it. So
Kingdom
like
Builders. That was the name of the church. Sorry.
that
Sorry.
was the name of the church I didn't want to put out there.
Wait, was it really?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
then it was the same place. It was down on the corner of.
I know what you was talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
I just left it alone. um anyways, so man, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, sorry. I got so excited because you listen. My memory is not good these days, so if I can remember something, I get so happy that I have to say it out there. Okay,
Yeah, I think with Caden. Oh, that's what I was saying. The church has changed its tune on things. Even the Catholic Church has changed its tune on things. It's accepting more to religion. I mean, to religion, to science. It's accepting more to the other communities that are out there that they shunned at one point, right?
mhm, mhm, mhm.
Shunned ain't the word. That's a nice way of saying it. Yeah, we're not going down that road, but
Nope.
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Religion is changing as times are changing.
yeah, yeah.
Slow to the party for some religions, and it's hard to believe that you're doing it for the right things. Um, when I think of nope, leave that alone. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. It's I you know what? I will take I don't well, no, credit's not the word. I don't even know what the word is. We knew from jump this was gonna be a tough conversation. We knew because
It actually
and
wasn't
it was
that
the first
bad.
thing that you said.
I'm just glad my filter works a whole lot better today. I'm
Well, you
very
know
more
what?
conscious of
Since we're
certain
talking about
things.
filter, how was my filter this episode?
What, the one that got you in trouble? It's hard for you to be talking about that topic on today's segment. Let's touch base on another segment. I don't think you'd be introducing that stuff into the
You tried though. You
Yeah.
tried. You almost got me there.
No. I just said a simple statement, and you try to lie on it, and I'm like, wait a second, don't try that now. This wholesome act just because you got in trouble.
All right. So
Moving
I will
on.
say, we'll close out. Fear may have introduced us to religion, but faith is what we choose to carry forward. Right? You agree? All right, bet. I'm gonna let you close out. Please read what I wrote. Please do me that.
You better not Ron Burgundy me
Come
and put
on,
some weird
come
stuff
on,
in
Ron
here.
Burgundy.
All right, here we go. If this conversation made you think, question, reflect, that's the point. We're not here to give you the answers. We're here to honor where we come from while being honest about where we are. Okay, you didn't Ron Burgundy me.
TK.
Not bad, not bad. You was just too excited to tell me to read something.
Culture isn't always comfortable. Legacy isn't always simple, but it's always talked about. Make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. Watch us on YouTube. Follow us on social media. Lord Jesus.
Share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. And don't just listen. Join the conversation in the comments. This is Roots to Realities. It's your boy, Kevin B. the Band, alongside...
Yeah, girl, Shu, the vibe enhancer.
See you next week.